Ladies and gentlemen, now today there's been a nice little update to Incursions. They've reduced the difficulty of most sectors, increased the rewards a little bit as well, and also added in a brand new sector rate for the super sweaty boys where you can get 6-star shards on top of everything else as well. So there's a really good update, but along with it as well, there's been a refresh to the Incursion store. So this has come with 6 new 5-star featured crystals where you can get 1 of 10 characters, and we're going to talk about the value of these crystals, man, because there are 2 of them that I think are really good to gamble on, and 4 of them that I think are a little bit A. But just to put it out there, man, these bottom 2, the War and the Death one, I think are pretty damn spicy, and these 4, you know, are not really super tempting, at least in my opinion. Also, on top of that as well, you can now buy 6-star hero crystal shards for Incursion artifacts. However, it's 32,000 for 2,000 6-star hero crystal shards. So if you do go this way to form a 6-star champion, then you're throwing away about 5 to 7 5-star heroes. So it's not really like that suggested unless like you've got all of the 5-star champions you need. But if you still need like those crazy beyond god tier 5-star characters, I wouldn't buy the 6-star shards, man. I think they're very pricey. But again, if you're like me, you're a massive endgame whale, you've got like every 5-star character in the game, then this is going to be a really good way to spend your Incursion artifacts. However, if you still need those key 5-star champions, then yeah, just stick to either the 5-star basic crystal or a 5-star featured crystal. Now, I'm going to start off by talking about the one that I think is the best overall, which is the 5-star war crystal. And again, what crystal is the best depends on your roster, what characters you have, what characters you need. But I really like this one because it's got both Nick Fury and also Human Torch inside. And both of these characters are just absolute god tier game changing characters for a lot of players. They're 2 core characters for 100% Abyss of Legends. They do so much work across the endgame of MCOC, and again, in these crystals they're only 10 characters? So yeah, it's like a 20% chance that either Nick Fury or Human Torch. However, if you do miss, there are still some pretty sweet characters. You've got Emma Frost, Sabretooth, Star-Lord, and also Hela, all of which I would say are pretty decent pulls, man. You know, Emma Frost and Sabretooth and Star-Lord probably a little bit better than Hela, but I still like Hela, man. And Hela has some pretty crazy numbers on the right synergy team in the right scenario. But also in this one, you do have 4 characters that you probably don't want to see. You've got Iron Patriot, Juggernaut, King Groot, and Loki. So yeah, there are some big wins, some not too bad characters, and some duds in this one. But I think for the you know, 20% chance that even Nick Fury or Human Torch, this one is well worth the gamble, especially considering now there's like 150 characters, or approximately that in the 5-star basic. So your chances like 0.7, 0.6, I think, out of a 5-star basic to get Nick Fury or Human Torch. So having that increased to about, 10% for this crystal is really nice. So I recommend going for this one if you are missing, you know, either one of those characters. Another crystal that's really good as well. This one, mainly if you want Quake, and Quake is the character that you are desperately searching for, is the 5-star Death Crystal. So yeah, this one has some pretty good characters. The Quake's really nice, also has Havoc in as well, Silver Surfer, Carnage pretty decent, Darkhawk pretty decent, Dr. Octopus pretty decent, like Taskmaster is not too bad. I'd say maybe some of the biggest duds in this one are like classic Daredevil, Ebony Maw, and Thor Jane Foster. Even Ebony Maw can be alright on defense there. So yeah, there are a lot of like pretty decent characters in this one, but I'd say the biggest wins for most players are going to be that Quake and also the Havoc. But I think in comparison, again, it depends how you want to look at them, and it depends like how much you like Quake. I think I might be a little bit biased to this decision, because again, I much prefer my Human Torch and Nick Fury over Quake. But again, if you're Quake for life, this might be the crystal to go for. But yeah, depending on your roster, your priorities, your play style, this one could be potentially better to go for in comparison to the War Crystal. But yeah, then we've got the other 4 crystals, and they have like some big wins in. But again, like, I don't really recommend these crystals. I think like the basic pool is so generally good that there's a really high chance of getting like a god tier or beyond god tier champion, and these ones have like a few too many duds and not really like the win that you're after. However, there are some scenarios where you might want to go for these crystals. So this one is mainly like the biggest win is like a mega red, I would say, in this one. Sentinel's pretty decent as well. It also does have Cull Obsidian and Morningstar, so if you are in search of any of those characters, like this one isn't too bad, but it also does have like Ant-Man, Crossbones, Gamora, Guillotine, Yellow Jacket, Thor Ragnarok, and those are characters that you probably you know, aren't too fussed about getting from a 27k Incursion featured crystal there. Then next up we got the 5-star Nightmare crystal. So I'd say the two biggest wins in this one are probably Longshot and also Stark and Aunt Spider-Man. This one also does have Massacre and Red Hulk in as well, and they're certainly not too bad to get, especially if you need them for like the domino synergies. But yeah, overall this one kind of lacks that really exciting value for an Incursions crystal and doesn't have like a massive jackpot there. So yeah, it's not too bad overall. However, there are kind of better odds to get better characters when it comes to the 5-star basic. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about this one too much, in all fairness, again, unless you really want Longshot, Stark and Aunt Spider-Man, or really need like Massacre and Red Hulk for the domino synergies. Now next up, we got the Genesis crystal here, which has OG Black Widow, you got Cable, you got Captain Marvel. I believe this is the movie version, to the best of my knowledge, because again, if you open her up in the champion profile, it just says like regular Captain Marvel. Again, I'll just show you, for example, in the roster here. So if we have a look at the cosmic characters, we go Cap Marvel. Again, she's not Captain Marvel movie, she's just Captain Marvel. But then if we go to the 4-star roster and have a look at what is it, the classic version, she's Captain Marvel Classic. So I believe that is the MCU version, the movie version of Captain Marvel, in comparison to the old one. But again, there are quite a few Captain Marvels knocking about, so it is it's very easy to get a little bit confused when it does come to some of these crystals. But yeah, out of this one, I've noted down that Captain Marvel, Spider-Gwen, and also Gwenpool are probably some of the biggest wins out of this one. The Ghost Rider maybe as well, actually. I didn't see the Ghost Rider on first pass. So that spices up a little bit more. Again, if you need like Captain Marvel, Ghost Rider maybe for the Trinity with Blade and Starkey, or you really want Spider-Gwen or Gwenpool, maybe the one to go for. But again, I just don't think it has like overall enough spicy value to be like worth the gamble for most people. Instead of opening this one, I just stick to the 5-star basics, in all honesty. So yeah, I'm not too fussed about this one, because you still got like a few characters that you don't really want to pull. Like again, old school Black Widow really isn't the best character. Cable isn't doing too well. Like Cyclops ain't too great. Green Goblin, Mr. Fantastic, and Yondu. Again, characters that I assume the majority of players aren't too fussed about. But yeah, Captain Marvel, man, she's still a pretty big win from that one. But is she a Human Torch or a Nick Fury? Not quite, man. Not quite. And then finally, we've got the 5-star Evolution Crystal. So this one guarantees either a 5-star Hulkbuster, Iceman, Joe Fixit. So exclusive 5-star Joe Fixit there. Killmonger, MODOK, Magic, Phoenix, Red Skull, Rogue, or Spider-Man Symbiote. So this one again is alright. There's definitely some decent wins in this one with the Hulkbuster, Iceman, and the Magic. I would say kind of the big 3 wins in this crystal. Definitely, if you hit a bit of a jackpot on this one, all 3 of those can be a really good addition to the roster. However, there's a lot of characters that aren't going to do too much in an endgame roster here. So yeah, honestly, man, I just don't think this one is worth going for. I think if you do want to gamble on the Incursions crystals in comparison to 5-star basic, at least in my personal opinion, and again, it's going to differ from roster to roster, but I think the War and Death crystals are the best to go for if you want those characters that are just going to be like so game-changingly good and just carry you through everything if you do hit like the very jackpot on those crystals. So yeah, that's my opinion on the 6 new crystals, but let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and also what crystal you decided to go for if you are opening one, but also to have a very quick look at Incursions as well. As I mentioned earlier, there's been a bit of a refresh and an update, so the difficulty of previous zones I believe has been toned down a little bit, and the rewards has been slightly increased as well, and also in Sector 8 now. So if you're a massive blubbery boy and you got some fat off, I think it's like champion collection and also rating as well, that factor which sectors you can can unlock. So you got Sector 8. So yeah, every single zone you clear, man, you get like a nice little stack of 6-star shards, gold, and artifacts scaling up. They actually get quite aggressive here. 1,000 per zone, 1,200 there. If you can blast your way past zone 11 as well, the 6-star shards, they just go up and up all the way to what is it? Zone 15 is, I think, is the cutoff there. And then, yeah, just on, it's just 5-star shards. So I actually thought the 6-star shards went up a little bit more. But in all fairness, for the difficulty of Sector 8, I think, you know, getting to Zone 10 is going to be a little bit of a struggle for most players. So yeah, that's going to be a little bit of a fun challenge, man. But I'm glad they just kept on building on the challenge of incursions and have also added in some very spicy rewards there. So you can only get these ones every, what is it, 30 days, but we also, I think, have some slightly updated milestone rewards. So yeah, for tier 1, I think there's a few more artifacts available previously, and also just a nice stack of gold as well. So yeah, I'm interested to try out, what is it, Zone 8 at some point, man. And I really like that they've added in like a solid chunk of 6-star shards that you can get on a monthly basis now by doing incursions. I think that's going to coax in a lot of endgame players that maybe were ignoring incursions previously. But yeah, not a bad update, man. I like some of the crystals. Some of them could be a little bit more spicy and offer a bit more in terms of those beyond god tier, like game-breaking characters. You know, there are still so many characters in the beyond god tier category that are just not featured in the current round of Incursions Crystals. That's slightly unfortunate not to see characters like Dr. Doom knocking about, or Ghost, or Corvus Glaive. But I do think for players that are looking at doing Abyss of Legends at some point in the future, that crystal with both Nick Fury and Human Torch in is going to be really, really spicy. So hopefully, if you do decide to open that, man, you get lucky and you don't get shafted, because there are some really, like, terrible champions in that one as well. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below on what you believe is the best 5-star Incursions crystal. And yeah, if you did enjoy today's video, please do smash that like button. That'd be greatly appreciated. But aside from that, thank you very much for watching. Take care, and I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic day.